everybody, we Paddy from across the shuck, and this is a tag video tonight. I was tagged by one of the nicest, most cheerful, polite men on YouTube, Mrsharp. He does an awful lot of sack, the Swiss Army knives, but he does all sorts. But he's one of the most genuine, happy people you'll ever meet. When I go to his channel, I feel cheered up afterwards. So he's tagged me, and it's the first knife that ever got you started into knife collecting. Or in my case, it's the first knife that got me started later on in life, because as a youngster, I only had wee small pen knives, and I had a wee knife when I was in the Sea Cadets, but they didn't have any meaning to me. It was only later on in life, about, a few years ago, it's not that long, when I got into bushcraft and got into knives. And then after I was coming out of bushcraft, I started to really want better knives and better looking knives and pocket knives rather than something I was going to take into the bush. So what I've got for you tonight is very simple. It's just a straightforward. The first knife that really got me into folding knives, because before then I'd had the bushcraft ones. The first knife that got me into it was this big beauty here. Oh, excuse me. This big beauty here, and this is the Buck 278. It's the Hunter with the gut hook on it. My wife bought this for me. I was fishing at the time, and I just fancied a big man knife to have in my fishing tackle box, so that's what I got, was a big man knife. Love that buck. Still around today, although it's not mine anymore. I gave it to my son a couple of months back. He was moving into his house with his girlfriend, didn't have a knife, so I gave him a choice and he picked that one. So that's nice that it's keeping on going, and I'm hoping that it'll maybe, it'll maybe get him the inspiration to go on into the knife collecting, or whatever we call this. I don't think it's going to happen. He hasn't showed any interest, and he's in his 30s now. But you never know. I was in my 50s before I get started, so there we go. Now, the first knife after that, once I'd got that knife, that got me into I want folding knives. This was more a knife for a task, which was fishing, and I would have took it out in the bush with me as well. So the knife that I picked to go and to get me started was, I think, this one. There was a couple of Ganzos I'd got. I'd heard people saying there's Ganzos. Now, this is before I got wrapped up in the whole YouTube thing. So I had a couple of people, and this was the Ganzo that I got, that I first remember thinking, wow, I really like knives. I really want to start collecting knives. I want to learn about knives. And this is the Ganzo F756. To me, to this day, it is a beautiful knife. And yes, it does remind you of the 940. And yes, I had this in the hope that one day I would get my grail knife, which would have been the 940. And this is just shortly after I'd started on YouTube. And then I realised that on my little budget, it might be quite a while before I got a 940. But this was the most beautiful standby. I loved this knife, absolutely loved it. And it got me off on the road of Ganzos and San Remus, because with my budget, I was able to buy quite a few knives and enjoy them. Just enjoy them for being knives, and learn how to sharpen them, learn how to look after them, take them apart. They were all new to me. So this knife really is the one that got me started. Really got me hooked on folding knives. And if it hadn't have been for this, I don't know whether, I think because this is one of the first I'd got, just folding knives, that I found it was just so, there was something physical about it. I felt physically good when I had it in my hand. It felt like something I wanted to use more than just have as a decoration. So that was it. And who was to know that just over a year later, I would get my grail knife, which is the Benchmade 940. So although I started with these grandiose ideas of getting one. I soon found out on my budget I wouldn't have had a chance to really get one of these and to keep this channel going. And people have helped me with knives all the way through it. This is by no means the best knife I've ever got. It's by no means the worst knife, but this was my grail knife. And it still is my grail knife. I mean, I've had this about 4 months now, and it's still my grail knife. I don't have a great yearning for something else. This I love. I broke the springs on it there, and I had to wait nearly, it was about 3 weeks before I get new springs. Benchmade were great. They sent them over to me. And I just got it back again yesterday. So, you know, you can start off dreaming, as I did, and then you end up with a knife that just, and I know they don't really look the same, but there is that blade shape and that form that is a bit the same. There's no doubt about it. It's meant to look like it. So that's where I am now, and that's my... So basically the knife we're going to say that started me is the F756 Ganzo, and it has led me into a hobby that I love. I have met people that I love. I have met great friends and people who have gone beyond what friendship is to help me keep the wee channel going, keep the banter going and the crack. So what I've got to do now is I have got to name 3 people, tag 3 people, to show us their knife, the knife that that got them started. And I'm gonna tag Blade Banter, Doc P91B, and Shortcut Reviews. Now I have mentioned Blade Banter and Shortcut Reviews before. 2 great channels. I love following them. They're completely different, and they're one of them. Blade Banter's trying so many different ideas, but I think it's marvellous. And some are working, some are not. Doesn't matter. He's trying, and he's really putting a lot of effort into his channel, and that will work eventually. Shortcut Reviews, quick, snappy, short reviews. So it'll be nice to hear him talking about something that's his, the knife that got him started. The other one, Doc P91B. I'll put these names in the description. You know I can't do that other funny stuff. So I'll just put the names. You'll have to type them in. Doc P is a man who I admire. He has just finished a very long service career in he finished in the RAF, or the RAF, the Air Force, the American Air Force. And he was also in the American Army, I believe. So he's just finished his career, and he's just starting out on a new life venture, and it's with knives. But I'll let him tell you that. He is one of the most, he can be sarcastic, he can be funny, he can be, he can have a rant. He is just one of the most interesting men that I know on YouTube at the minute. A great fella. He has an unusual channel. There's nothing else like him. Nothing else like him. He is a one-off, but the one thing he has got is a love for his subscribers, and he does everything for his subscribers, and that's the bit I love, that he's not doing it just for himself. You know he's doing it for his subscribers, and that lifts him above the rest. He's not just a YouTube channel. He doesn't need subs. You know, he doesn't need my subs. I think he's got most of mine. Then I've talked to my subs about him. So I'll put them there. Go and have a look. If you like them, subscribe. If you don't, you don't. And that's the way it should be. You go and have a look. I'll never tell anybody to go and sub to somebody. So Mrsharp, who gave us the shout out, I thank you very much indeed. You have a great channel and you have a great personality. Keep them coming. And the other 3 are 3 great channels. Give them a look out and see what happens. All right. Take care, folks. All the very best. Paddy's away. And I'm going to have my tea in a wee minute. So I've got a cup of tea to start. I'll see you very soon with another one. Bye.